Welcome to Echo Africa, where truth meets courage. If you believe Africa deserves better, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful and relevant updates like this one. Now, let's get into today's story. Disclaimer. This video is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It reflects the views expressed in public discourse, documented events, and credible commentary. We encourage open dialogue rooted in mutual respect and verifiable facts. A recent viral video has sent shockwaves across the continent. A European activist boldly claimed that Zimbabwe was deliberately crippled economically as punishment for taking back land from white settlers. He described it not as a natural economic decline, but as an orchestrated economic war meant to set an example.
Zimbabwe took back its land, the world's most powerful countries hit back, but without firing a single bullet. The US called Zimbabwe an extraordinary threat. It wasn't because of weapons or armies, but because it dared to reclaim what was stolen. The economic war started quietly, but escalated quickly. In 2002, the EU froze Zimbabwe's assets and banned its leaders from traveling. The next year, President Bush declared a national emergency, using the same laws meant for wartime threats. Suddenly, no US or foreign company could deal with Zimbabwe's government. Banks were faced with the most crushing fines. One was imposed with a $385 million penalty just for doing normal business. The plan was simple: suffocate the economy. Hospitals couldn't import spare parts, farmers couldn't get fertilizer, and the country was blocked from loans, even for clean water systems. As hunger spread and diseases like cholera broke out, Western media just mocked Zimbabwe's trillion-dollar bills, calling it mismanagement, while ignoring the real cause, which were sanctions designed to break the nation. But just when the West thought that Zimbabwe would finally surrender, an unexpected ally just came out of nowhere.
If this is true, what does it say about global power structures? And more importantly, could South Africa face the same fate if it pursues genuine land reform? Are African nations allowed to determine their own future without economic sabotage from powerful interests? Let us know, do you believe Africa is being punished for reclaiming its dignity? To support this narrative, the Zimbabwean activist painted a grim picture of life in the country. According to him, there are virtually no functioning hospitals, the electricity is a luxury, and clean water is rare. For a nation once dubbed the breadbasket of Africa, this is not just tragic, it's haunting.
If you go to Zimbabwe today, you want to cry when you see how black people in Zimbabwe are living. Number one, water as we speak in Zimbabwe is not reticulated. So you drink it at your own risk. Number two, Zimbabweans get electricity from midnight to 5 o'clock in the morning. The whole day they have no electricity. Number three, Mugabe himself died in Singapore. There's no single hospital that could heal him, that could treat him in Zimbabwe.
How did a country with so much promise fall into such despair? And who really bears the blame, local mismanagement, foreign pressure, or both? Can a people truly recover when they're constantly forced to rebuild from the ashes of sabotage and silence? Meanwhile, in Nigeria, a political storm is brewing. In a fiery press statement, opposition leader Peter Obi, widely believed to have won the last presidential election, directly challenged President Bola Tinubu. Speaking in Abuja, Obi boldly questioned Tinubu's identity, demanding he come clean about his past before changing his name.
Morning show here on Arise News. Before we bring in our guests to now join the press conference by Peter Obi in Abuja.
And abroad, in different parts of the world, I've traveled recently. To the outsiders, the entire Chicago University matter, as well as Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu's many other lingering identity question marks, have further worsened Nigerian less than glorious image internationally. Uninformed outsiders now see every Nigerian as a fraudster, certificate forger, or identity thief. The controversy is unnecessary, just as the implicit global embarrassment could have been avoided. In my opinion, Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu should have saved the nation and himself this protracted embarrassment and undue anxiety. Even in this late in the day, however, Chief Ahmed Bola Tinubu still owes the nation and the world a simple debt of obligation only he can discharge. I therefore respectfully and humbly call on him to immediately and personally mount the rostrum of his present high office to perform a simple task once and for all time. He should reintroduce himself to the nation he governs and to the world for avoidance of further doubt. He should let the world know his name, his nationality, his place of birth, his parentage, the primary and secondary school he attended with dates, as well as the actual universities he attended and certificates obtained. He should indicate clearly where and when he did his national youth service. In addition, if at any time he has had a change of name, he should state so clearly and circumstance that his name itself is no crime. This is a simple task that will take only a few minutes. It requires no affidavit, prolonged court process, spokesperson, agents or surrogates. The task is one that only Chief Bola Tinubu himself, through a direct personal statement, can perform. He must perform this task urgently in order to lay to rest, once and for the last time, the many lingering doubts and valid speculation about his true identity. A leader cannot outsource a clear, unambiguous personal statement about his identity to political surrogates, official spokespeople, lawyers, or any other person, no matter how highly placed. A matter of personal identity of a leader is too sensitive and central to the function of the office he currently occupies to be trifled with, outsourced, or disguised under the cloak of officialdom. It is about integrity, morality, values, and the rule of law that defines the character of a nation and its people. In his present capacity as a leader of a nation of over 200 million Nigerians, his true identity is a matter of grave national and international interest. The people deserve to know with certainty the true identity of their leader, and this overrides whatever rights he may have to personal privacy. In addition, the international community deserves to know the true identity of the person with whom they will engage on Nigeria. Having stood for an election of elevated office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Bola Tinubu have implicitly undertaken to cede the rights of private citizens in favor of life of open disclosure of his true identity and other circumstances that might be of public interest. His personal integrity demands no less. The legitimacy of the office he currently occupies demands that much and even more. Respect for the integrity and esteem of the Nigerian nation within the Committee of Nations makes it even more incumbent and compulsory. It is time to do the right thing. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
In a country where transparency should be the bedrock of leadership, why are there still unanswered questions about those at the helm? How long can a nation ignore the calls for truth without risking the collapse of trust in its democracy? Speaking on democracy itself, renowned African scholar Professor PLO Lumumba raised a piercing question: why is the West obsessed with forcing democracy on Africa, while turning a blind eye to monarchies and autocracies in places like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Singapore? Lumumba argued passionately that Africa must craft its own leadership system, one that respects its heritage and meets its unique needs.
We were told by the conceptual West, and when I talk about the conceptual West, I'm including Australia, those countries that are geographically not in the West. They were telling us through their NGOs, and there is no shortage of them, that democracy means, democracy defined by Europe and America means that you must have multi-party states, and we formed them in the hundreds. Go to the Democratic Republic of Congo, they have 233 political parties. So that if you are looking at the ballot paper in the Democratic Republic of Congo, it is as tall as you are. Then we were told that democracy means that we must have elections every 5 years. And democracy means that the European Union and some other Western agency must come in and observe us and say that you little fellows, you have done a good job. That is effectively what they do. Once they have done that, then they print papers which says, now this is the index of democracy, and we are very happy because Europe and America have told us we are democratic. Not the woman in Butiama. The woman in Butiama has not told us we are democratic. It's Europe and America, it's Paris and Washington. But when they are telling Africans that, they don't tell Kuwait that. No, they don't. They don't tell Singapore that. No. They don't tell Saudi Arabia that. That is staple for the African. It is the Africans who must be told what to do, because he is incapable of knowing what he does. We must define ourselves.
Is it time to stop copying foreign blueprints that were never made for us in the first place? Why should a continent rich in culture, wisdom, and resilience continue to be dictated to by others? Africa stands at a critical crossroads between reclaiming its destiny or remaining a playground for outside influence. The question is, are we ready to wake up, or will we keep pressing snooze on our future? Let us know what you think in the comments. Your voice is vital. And remember, here at Echo Africa, we don't just report the news, we challenge the narrative. Stay strong, stay aware, and never stop believing that Africa's time is now.